Hello, my name is Eva Lamonica, and I'm a member of Grace Life. Today, let me share with you the highlights of my mother's life. Her name is Feli Silvestre Mateo, whom we called Inang. That's a Filipino term like nanay for a mother. To me, she epitomized the woman in Proverbs 10 to 15, which I summarized as which is of noble character and worth far more than rubies. She lacks nothing of value. She brings good, not harm. She works with eager hands and gets up while it's still night to provide food for the family. My ina was my first teacher, taught me to love God and have faith in Him. She was my role model for patience and perseverance, tenacity and resilience, hoping and waiting for the best that is yet to come. Starting at the tender age of 5, she taught me to swing the cradle or ugoy the duyan in Filipino. When each of my 4 younger siblings was born and they're still babies, she taught me to be responsible and always strive for the better. Due to hard work and a lot of struggles in life, at a young age of 46, she suffered a mild stroke and another one when she was 53. Inang's mobility and cognitive function deteriorated over time, but she still managed to show her love for her children, especially me. She was able to help and assist me. Each time I had a baby, I had 5. When I became a single mom, she took care of my children with the help of a nanny and my eldest daughter, who was 24 years old at the time already, and until I migrated to US. In February 2011, I planned to fly back home to take care of my mom, to kiss her and hug her, to feed her and bathe her, and to sleep by her side. So I bought the ticket a month in advance. But 1 week before the time comes, I got an overseas call that woke me up very early morning of February 27. Our Father in heaven had a plan different from mine. He gave my mom an eternal rest where she will not be in pain and forever be comfortable. I hurriedly changed my ticket date and flew home in the Philippines. There, when I saw her, I cried and screamed in pain when I laid eyes on her inside the coffin. Yes, she only gave and gave to me, but she didn't take any. Since then, I sealed and put her so she will not get lost again. Here in my heart, I hug her here and forever will be with me. My inang, whom God entrusted to mold a big part of me and be what God wanted me to become. And that's my mother, my inang. Happy Mother's Day to all of us, beautiful, wonderful mothers at Grace Life, and to all the mothers all over the world.
I see Jesus in my mom by her love. Even when she is tired from work, she'd take me and my sister to the store, or sometimes we go out to eat. She checks up on me when I feel down and has a very strong intuition. One time, I was having difficulty learning a song for my jazz band, She noticed that I stopped playing the piano and then came into my room. I had a tear in my eye, and then she asked me why I was crying. I said that I had a hard time learning this song. She then had a talk with me to always do my best and was always there to comfort me. Eventually, I did learn the piece and killed my solo. Now, there are countless times where my mom was there to support me, and also times where she was there to scold me. When I was younger, I used to play a lot of video games, and I still play a lot of video games, but I didn't keep my room at its best shape. I didn't make my bed every day, I didn't vacuum or mop my room, and my desk would always be messy. One day, when my mom came home from work, she went inside my room and realized that a tornado hit it. She then started to scold me about my bed and my desk, and how messy my room is. At the time, I was angry at her because I could move around my room, and why do I need to make my bed? I sleep in it every day, but I learned that making my bed starts off the day right, and it shows discipline. Then I also learned that a clean room means a clear mind. Caitlin, clean your room. So, looking back at the lessons that I was taught, I know that my mom has unconditional love for me. She always goes out of her way to make my sister and I the best people that we could be. Even when I don't make the right decisions, I know that she still loves me, just how Jesus loves us even when we sin. One verse that I'd like to share about my mom is John 16, verse 21. It reads, "A woman giving birth to a child has pain because her time has come. But when her baby is born, she forgets the anguish because of her joy that a child is born into this world." Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. My grandmother, amazing woman. Alexandra Nieradka Krukowska was her maiden name, meaning ravens. She was an amazing woman, worked hard. But because my grandfather was a sort of like a mayor position over a dozen communities or so, some of them very small, and Russians were fearful of anybody. It wasn't so much the Russians, the Stalin himself was very fearful of anybody that was somewhat smart. And so they would resettle a lot of people. And one night, in the middle of the night, like it's 20 degrees centigrade, in the middle of the winter, they're coming knocking at the door. Pack up, you got 20 minutes to get ready. They load them up on the sleds, took them to the train station, load them into the cattle wagons. I don't know if they were heated, probably not very well because those walls are very thin. And they traveled for 2 weeks straight, all the way deep into Russia, up north, close towards Siberia. There they spent 5 years eking out a living on a starvation diet. They didn't pay them, they just was like a more of a forced labor. They would have to resort to eat like frozen potatoes. In the spring, they would eat dandelion and other herbs. They would even resort to eat bark of the trees. It was very, very tough life. Now, my grandfather returned to Poland 1 year earlier because he was with the Polish army. But my grandmother and the rest of the family was stuck. They're stuck because they had no way of returning. Well, one day they were picking wild berries in the forest, and my youngest aunt, the youngest daughter of my grandmother, she came running, saying, "Oh, look, Mom, I found some paper I can practice my writing." And my grandmother says, "Wow, where did you get this? It's money." She says, "Oh, over there." It was a lot of money, enough for them to return back to Poland. They resettled them into the area that used to be Germany, western part of Poland, 100 miles east of Berlin. Anyway, life was tough. My grandmother had to get up early, 5 in the morning, fixing breakfast. Well, first she would have to milk the cows, so we would have a fresh milk to drink. Then she would fix the breakfast. My favorite breakfast was when she made the bread from sourdough, started night before, and that early morning when she was fixing breakfast, she would take a portion of that dough and make blini. Blini is a type of pancake that, using the mixture that's turned into bread eventually, and make pancakes out of it and serve with sour cream. It was one of my favorite. To this day, I like it. I attempt to make it once in a while. Anyway, my grandmother was very hardworking. She would pick berries in the summertime besides regular farm work. She would pick mushrooms in the wintertime. Fall time. In the wintertime, she would make mittens and do all kinds of stuff. And when she visited us, she would bring us gifts, things like mittens and socks, all handmade. And one time she pushed a bicycle for 7 kilometers, and on which we was loaded with dry fruit. And the bicycle was for me, and that made me so very happy. Anyway, my grandmother was amazing. She always loved us so much. She always told us, you are my favorite grandkids. Of course, I believe she told that to every grandkids. Anyway, she lived to somewhere late 80s, maybe 90. I am not sure the age, but she truly was Proverbs 31 woman. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Barb Edwards, and I serve as assistant pastor here at Grace Life. One of the questions Pastor Julian asked us to address was, what women have inspired you and impacted your life? There have been many extraordinary women. There is one woman, however, who I consider my dearest friend, who has instructed, inspired, and encouraged excellence in my life. Her name is Phoebe Hillinghampton. Today, I'd like to give tribute to her. We met in the early 1970s and have remained best friends for over the years. I lived with her family for 3 years. We discovered that we were born one day apart and that our sons were also born one day apart. My son grew up with her children as a brother. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you for loving God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength. You nurtured your relationship with Him above all else. Thank you for the ways you have shown both God's tenderness and strength. Your loving kindness made the good times brighter and the trying times easier. Your sense of humor and your laughter uplifts hearts above circumstances. We've had so much fun together over the years. You are the sister and friend that everyone wants. Thank you for your authenticity. You've never compromised your real self. You're genuine. You are true to whom God created you to be. You are a blessing that no one can replace. So much of what you did was not seen by others, but the God who sees saw you. As a pastor's wife, I've seen you raise your 8 children in addition to serving with your husband, serving 2 congregations, and visiting in 3 states while managing your own health challenges. Thank you for the many behind-the-scene tasks and just the plain hard work. You are a mother to both physical and spiritual children. Many generations have benefited from the gift of who you are. Thank you for the many hours spent praying, serving, sacrificing, and loving them, and for the tears shed on their behalf. Your tears are preserved in God's special vial. The godly seeds that you have planted in the lives of others are bearing fruit in multiple ways. You have made a larger impact than you know. Be at peace, knowing your generational legacy is secure. You have continued to walk in the light of Jesus so that His name and His renown may be magnified in the coming generations. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies, and her children rise and call her blessed. Dearest Phoebe, these words, they cannot even encapsulate the godly woman you truly are and the impact you have made on my life. Please know that on this Mother's Day, my dear friend, my sister, my mentor, my confidant, you have imprinted my soul, and you will forever remain in my heart. Today, my precious friend is under hospice care as she battles pancreatic cancer. Please remember the family in prayer. And thank you for celebrating Phoebe's inspiring legacy with me today.